Nintendo news, viewer questions, player spotlight, and our Nintendo Time Portal is all coming up. Stay tuned! The Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast starts shortly. Support this podcast by blasting that like button, sharing the stream, and subscribing right now. Nintendo news, viewer questions, player spotlight, and our Nintendo Time Portal is all coming up. Stay tuned! Visit our website at NintendoChitChat.com and catch up on everything Nintendo. Grab the audio version of the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM. Gamers, get ready! The Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard, starts right now.
Welcome, guys! How are you? On this Thursday, May 31st, 2018, Eddy Ray with you here. Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast, episode 22 is live. Make sure you guys hit that like button for us, show your support. We have a lot of Pokemon stuff to talk about tonight, so we actually retitled our podcast from West of Loathing, which released in the Switch eShop, to Pokemon Quest, which is also available right now in the Switch eShop, and mobile devices too, which is pretty cool. So we'll be talking about all this stuff with Samantha coming up very soon. But before we get started, guys, a few little pieces of information for you. Don't forget, this podcast is available audio only on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, stuff like that, so check it out. Leave a good review as well if you can. Also want to talk to you a little bit about Icy. This just released in the eShop for the Switch today. It goes for $8.99. This is a 2D action side-scrolling game. Looks pretty cool. In fact, we'll be reviewing this game over the next week, and Samantha should have that probably for us in the next week or two. So stay tuned for that on the podcast and the channel and the website too, over at NintendoChitChat.com. But a little bit of ad copy regarding this game. This game actually is a really top-tier seller in China regarding premium indie games. It's sold well over 2 million copies worldwide on the platforms of PC, for Steam, mobile, and PlayStation 4 as well, which is pretty amazing. Now it's available for you on the Switch. So as a player, you take on the role of Icy. It has simple, intuitive controls, amazing combos, running, jumping, spinning, etc., which can be activated as you unleash your power or force on anyone or anything that dares to stand in your way. So it seems pretty awesome, guys. Again, this is Icy, and we'll be having a review for this in the coming week or two, so stay tuned for that. Okay, we got a whole slew of information here regarding Pokemon with you guys to talk about, so keep chatting away. We'll be right back in a moment. Stay tuned.
You're listening to the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your host, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard. We'll be right back after the short break. Grab the audio version of the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM. You're listening to the Nintendo Chit-Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard.
All right, guys, welcome back. Let's get right into it. We have Samantha Lienhard, our writer-editor, back on for episode 22. Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you.
Are you ready for this Pokemon news?
I'm ready.
Let me just get your take before we actually get into it. What was your take on everything revealed overall? Was it pretty, was it too much information for you, or what do you think?
I was surprised that they came out with all of the announcements ahead of E3 instead of announcing one and then saving the rest for E3. But yeah, I was pretty excited. I think the thing that surprised me the most was that when I saw the Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee announcements. I thought, oh, well, there we go. That was the Switch title that they teased then, only to then see the announcement that no,
right.
that isn't the one that they teased last year at E3. That's still coming.
Right. So in essence, they've announced 5 games.
Yes, if we assume that the other ones
available.
will follow the usual pattern, yeah.
Yeah, so let's get into gear here with you guys. So good to see Fluffy, JKW, Ferrari, Ashley. I think it was out there. Samantha saw Amber as well. Anita, Fluffy, Dank. Good to see all of you. Ferrari, hit the like button, guys, as we enter the Nintendo News Bites. All right, so Nintendo Switch News, of course, kicking things off with, well, Pokemon Quest, which is a free-to-play action RPG available right now in the Switch eShop. What do you think of this, Samantha, of what we learned so far by, I guess, the reveal of it and what we've been hearing on social media as well?
Yes, well, I haven't tried it myself yet, but it is coming to mobile devices as well in June, and it seems like it has that sort of mobile game feel with being free to play. There's some in-app, well, I guess not in-app purchase, microtransactions, whatever you would call them. But it seems like it has some interesting ideas. From what I understand, your Pokemon move on their own, but then you direct their attacks, so sort of automatic, but then you control what they're doing. It reminds me a little bit of Yokai Watch in that sense.
Yeah, and you can do auto battle too as well, besides just doing the button presses or touches on the screen as well to do your attacks. I played about 20 minutes today just to test it out so we could talk about it too. And a lot of guys in chat have been talking and playing this game more than me, so you guys leave your comments in chat. I'll read them if I can. But basically, you set up a base camp, and then you go on these little excursions or expeditions to find loot throughout the island. That's your basic kind of goal throughout the game, which is pretty neat. So I have a Pidgey, Rattata, and also Eevee as my team right now. And the microtransactions are kind of, I guess, pretty much hidden away within the little shop, I guess, in the game. And you have to cook meals every expedition before you go on to the next expedition. So I guess it replenishes your health and things like that and your stats. And you can buy, I think they're called PM tickets, which you can also use to speed up cooking process. Otherwise, you have to wait till that process is over with before your next expedition, I believe. That's how it works. So, but yeah, Pokemon Quest, free to play. What do you guys think about it? I think Fluffy's playing it. I'm not sure what else is playing. If you're playing it in chat, let me know. I think BYTES is as well. So, but that is Pokemon Quest available right now, and again coming to mobile devices. You said in June, right, Samantha?
Right.
Awesome. So there we go, Pokemon Quest. And if you guys want to see me play more Pokemon Quest on the channel too, with like face cam and commentary, let me know. Hit that like button for the first episode, and we'll continue it. Okay. And BY says she is playing Pokemon Quest. Awesome. Fluffy chose Pikachu. Very cool. All right, guys, moving along, we have, of course, what else was announced, Samantha? Kind of the bigger hitters here, I guess, right?
Right, so yeah, so then the next ones that they announced are the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which we discussed, I believe, last week or the week before as the rumors that had been spreading. And so these are essentially remakes of Pokemon Yellow, but now there's an Eevee variation as well, and they did confirm that just like how Pikachu in Pokemon Yellow can't be evolved, this Pikachu and this Eevee won't be able to be evolved either, but there will be other ones in the game if you want their evolutions. So these games are coming out on November 16th, and they seem like they're sort of hybrids almost between traditional Pokemon games and Pokemon Go, because they're having sort of an ability to connect to Pokemon Go. I believe you can transfer Pokemon from Kanto Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. They've also changed the way you catch Pokemon. So a lot of people, it seems like it's the biggest negative for a lot of people is that in these games you won't battle wild Pokemon. Instead, there's a sort of mini game using the Joy-Con motion controls that you'll do to capture Pokemon. But anyway, they said that their idea with this is to sort of appeal to the Pokemon Go audience, and I get the impression that they're hoping to sort of transition them to the mainline Pokemon games.
Right.
But so yeah, so these are coming out on November 16th, and they also announced a Pokeball Plus device, which you'll be able to use to take a Pokemon from the game into this device to take it with you, and I believe it also works with Pokemon Go so that it'll buzz or flash or whatever they do to indicate you if a Pokemon is nearby, if you have it synced up with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I'm just looking up here, Pokemon Go. I saw this information somewhere briefly. I'm not sure if it was accurate or not, but I saw the number for Pokemon Go was downloaded. This is a number I couldn't even believe. I'm not sure if it's true. 800
I do
million
remember seeing an
times.
astronomical number.
Yeah, 800 million times apparently it was downloaded, Pokemon Go. So, but yeah, so with these set of games coming to the Switch, basically they're bringing in a new audience who were new to Pokemon via Pokemon Go, who didn't bring up or grow up playing on Nintendo consoles. They grew up with phones in their hands. So this is kind of appealing to that audience, I think. But looking forward to it. So the Pokeball Plus is kind of a take on, I guess, the Pokemon Go Plus, which I have on my wrist right here as well.
It also reminds me of the Pokewalker.
Yeah, that too. Now, what generation of Pokemon are going to be in just series Generation 1, I guess?
Yes, I believe they said it's only going to be Generation 1 Pokemon, except there also is going to be some sort of special Pokemon that you can get if you connect it to Pokemon Go. But aside from that, like special bonus Pokemon, it's going to be exclusively Generation 1 Pokemon, I believe. Even Eevee's evolutions, they said, will only be Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon.
Right. I wonder if they would do DLC for more generations, because they have other generations. They have other gen, I think, in Pokemon Go. They added, I think. I haven't played it for a couple of years, but they've added to that. So maybe a more series of games as these spin-offs. These are more like, I guess you could call them spin-offs, couldn't you?
Yeah, sort of spin-offs, but also like kind of not like some spin-offs really deviate with the gameplay, but sort of having
more like a sidestep, I guess.
Gameplay alongside some spin-off features.
Yeah, awesome. So if you guys are excited for this, let me know. We'll put the poll in the chat right now, too, before I forget. I did a Twitter poll as well, but Twitter have a different audience sometimes, too, with this. So on Twitter, I asked you guys, if you're on Twitter, follow us, NintendoChitChat. If you're getting Pokemon Let's Go, will you be choosing Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, both, or neither? It came back with, I believe, we had like 31 votes, and it was heavily on Eevee's favor. And also, we had a high percentage for both as well, so that's kind of cool. Surprising me, actually. I thought Pikachu is the most well-known Pokemon character, so but we'll put the poll into chat for you guys right now. So same options as before. Let me find it here for you guys. So Pokemon Let's Go, option 1 is Pikachu. You have Eevee to choose from, both or neither, if you're not getting them at all. You got 2 minutes to vote, so go ahead and vote. And let's move on to some more news. So then they also announced or hinted towards the mainline Pokemon games are coming in 2019 then, correct?
Yes, and they said that this is the one that was teased last year at E3 that they said they're working on. So that will be out in the second half of 2019. And it will not tie in with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and it won't have any connection with Pokemon Go from what they've said either. So it sounds like this is going to be the traditional mainline next generation of Pokemon.
Okay, very cool. Remember talking to you then on the podcast a week or two back when we had the rumors article about Pokemon. I figured with the names of these games, if they were real, they had to have some kind of connectivity with Pokemon Go, and so there we have it now. We have it officially revealed for us, but very cool. That covers all the Pokemon information for this week, guys. So there you go. Pretty much Pokemon Quest, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and the core Pokemon games coming in the second half of 2019. You guys are voting crazily, which is good. All right, so to move along then to Sega has announced what, Samantha?
Yes, so they've announced Sonic Team Racing, and so this was accidentally leaked, I believe, in the morning,
Walmart,
and then that afternoon. Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah.
And then that afternoon, they officially announced it.
Very cool.
So, so this will be a racing game. Let me see. They've said that it will have a Grand Prix, time trial, some sort of adventure mode. I can't remember. I think I saw 15 playable characters from the Sonic series.
Not bad. Yeah, I've been waiting for a new Sonic game. I mean, I figured it was coming for the Sonic racing game. We've had, of course, Sonic Mania. We've had Sonic Forces. And, of course, we've had the last racing game was All-Stars Transformed, I think. And that came to many consoles, including the 3DS and the Wii U. So hopefully we get 60 FPS on the Switch. I think the 3DS and the Wii U version were only 30 FPS. Otherwise, it was a pretty solid kart racer game. So that is Sonic Team Racing.
Yeah, I just realized I got the name wrong. It's Team Sonic Racing. I think every time I looked at it, I thought about Diddy, or I don't know, I was thinking about Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking about Crash Team Racing. That's the racing game that got into my head. So it's because of that, Sonic. I put the names in that. Team Sonic Racing. Yes.
No problem. Not a problem at all. So we can fix that on the article for you guys over at NintendoChitChat.com. Very cool. All right, so moving away from kart racers, we have survival horror announced by NIS America. And what is this, Samantha?
Yeah, so this is YOMAWARI, The Long Night Collection. So this is a collection of YOMAWARI Night Alone and YOMAWARI Midnight Shadows, which are 2 horror games that came out for the Vita and I believe the PC. So this is a collection that includes both of them. It's coming out on October 26th in Europe and October 30th in North America. And in addition to the standard edition, there will also be a $54.99 limited edition.
Awesome, which is available for pre-order right now on NIS America Online Store. And I saw you were very excited for these survival horror games. That's awesome.
Yes, I played the first one, and it was really good. I didn't get the chance to play the second one yet, so now I'll have to decide if I'm going to get the second one on its own or if I'm going to get this collection for the Switch and play the second one there.
Very cool. So we have Nita and Dank saying, we have Let's Go Pikachu won this poll. So there you go. So it depends who my audience is for the particular poll. I think overall sales will be that Pikachu probably has at least 30% higher sales rate than Eevee. That's my guess, but we'll see if they even announce that stuff as the thing releases later this year. But let's move along. We have Waku Waku Streets. Now, what is this?
Sweets.
Sweets. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Sweets. Streets.
Yeah, so this this is a sort of a cooking game where you make desserts. And now there is a 3DS game called Waku Waku Sweets that was actually localized in March. I got the impression it was just a surprise announcement. Like it had been out in Japan for 4 years, and then in March it suddenly appeared in English, and no one was really expecting it. So it's unclear from the announcement if this new Waku Waku Sweets game is a remake or a port of the 3DS version, or if it's a sequel. They haven't released enough information about it yet to be clear. Okay,
and as we figure out and find out more, we'll pass it along to all of you. Yeah, so Waku Waku Sweets. I actually have a graphic up of the game. I'm not sure if it's just I'm not sure what particular game it's from, but I think it's part of the game. So there you go. All right, so EA announced FIFA 19 is coming to the Switch as well, correct?
Yes, and I don't think they've said too much about the game at all, really, but they were having an interview about it, and they mentioned that it will be on the Switch, and it's going to be using the same custom engine that they used for the previous game, although there's going to be several improvements, so it should play better, and that they wouldn't rule out using the other engine eventually, but for now they're going to be sticking with this one.
Yeah, I recall them saying that they are kind of building upon the base engine that they made custom for the Switch version of the game. So there should be improved graphics. My only concern is, who cares about graphics? Give us the ability to play online with friends. We can't do that in FIFA 18. So they have local gameplay, but you can't go online and play with friends. There's an online mode, but you connect randomly with people all over the world, not with friends on your friends list. So you think that would be like a basic feature to implement into the next game, but apparently they're concerned about graphics, so I'm not sure what they're trying to go after here with this FIFA 19 game. I may get it. We'll see if we learn more about that, but I'm kind of bummed by that, but we'll see. All right, then you just added this next thing to the news article, and this is Galaxy Variant S. And what kind of gameplay is this?
Yeah, so this is a shooter with, I believe, RPG elements. I think it's a sequel to the original Galaxy, although it seems they're doing something a little interesting. They announced today, they announced Variant S and Variant M, I believe they're calling it. So one is coming out for the Switch and one is coming out for mobile devices. But I believe they're going to be essentially the same game, but adapted differently depending which system that it's for. So yes, okay. They haven't said too much about this yet, but they did announce it.
And that was just, I guess, announced today then, right?
Right.
Okay, excellent. All right.
And so then the publisher, that's published by Gung Ho Online Entertainment, and so they were announcing it as part of their E3 lineup, and they also mentioned that they're going to have a major game reveal at E3 for the Switch.
All right, so keep your eyes peeled for that, guys. Cool. Okay, let's move along to release dates, everyone. We have 3 of them here. Want to go through this for us, Samantha?
All right, so first up we have June 7th is when Iroh Hero will come out. And so this is one of the many, many shoot-em-ups.
Yes.
There's certainly a lot of shoot-em-ups on the Switch now.
Lately there has been, yeah.
So we might have talked about this a couple of weeks ago, so now that's coming out. Then on June 28th is going to be one called Epic Loon. Let me double check quick on what that is. That is a platformer. So that is a, I believe, cooperative platformer. And so then October 2nd, the big game that people are waiting for is when Mega Man 11 will be out.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the Switch will actually have all of the Mega Man games then, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah,
or
all
at least
the
most
collections, yeah. So that's pretty hype. We'll talk more about Mega
Maybe
Man 11.
that's one of the spin-offs.
True, yeah, that's true. We'll be talking more about Mega Man 11 a little bit later on. In a couple segments, or actually a couple games away, we'll be talking more about this. But let's move on to trailers and details then. And we have, this is really cool. 100 winners have been announced for Square Enix's Dragon Quest Builders Landscapes contest. So that's pretty awesome. They chose 100 winners out of this contest. And I guess all 100 will appear in Dragon Quest Builders 2, correct?
Yes, so the website is all in Japanese, but you can still go to click the links to see the pictures of the contest winners, the environments that they created. And so, yes, so these landscapes will be appearing in the sequel.
Yeah, I was looking at the website here. It's pretty amazing. They have a nice kind of animated background here of all the screens, shots from these levels. And then, of course, you can click on all 100 if you want to, one by one, and look at some screenshots and information from who created it and what to expect of this being in the game of Dragon Quest Builders 2. Some of these, or actually all of them, are just really impressive creations. So pretty cool to see 100 people getting their levels or getting their kind of maps or designs put into Dragon Quest Builders 2. You can go to the website, guys, NintendoChitChat.com. We have the link to the Dragon Quest site where you can see all of these for yourselves. All right, then back to Mega Man, and this is the Amiibo edition, right?
Yes, so along with the release date announcement, they also released a new trailer showing some of the things that you'll be able to do in the game. And then they also announced that there will be a new Mega Man Amiibo, and it will be packaged with the game for the Switch version in the special Amiibo edition. And it's also going to be including a cloth and some stickers and a Dr. Wily patch.
Yeah, very cool. Just before the podcast started, I actually went on, and this is a GameStop exclusive, unfortunately, if you're in North America.
Yes.
So, and it's available right now. So, guys, if you want, because these things are known to sell out quickly for the first batch at least, get your pre-orders in now. And we have no word on if the Amiibo will be sold separately at a later date. I guess we don't know that, do we? Probably
I don't
not
think
yet.
they've said anything about that yet, no.
I assume it probably will be, but probably for at least the first few months we'll probably have it packaged with this Amiibo edition. So there you go. Mega Man 11 Amiibo edition. Go to GameStop.com if you're in North America. In the UK, I don't know. It probably won't be exclusive, but it could be to game, I think, over there. So check it out. But for us in North America, it's available right now at GameStop. So get your orders in now, guys. Okay. So we have some new songs being added to MUSYNX, which we've talked about in the past few podcasts, or actually recent podcasts, I should say. And we have all of the YouTube links, so you can listen to them yourselves. I guess that's a free update, right?
I believe, or actually, is MUSYNX out yet? Or is it just a...
I don't remember. There's so many music games recently, too.
Yes, I know. I think maybe this is just that they announced 3 more games that
could
will be...
Let me double check here with you.
Yeah, I'm double checking too.
Nintendo by
Okay, it's coming out June 21st.
Okay, so there you go. So they're adding 3 more songs to the lineup then. There you go. Available for pre-purchase in the Switch eShop for $26.99. Okay, very cool. So we got that figured out. Now we also have some more details for Little Dragon's Cafe, and explain more about the details from the website.
Yes, well, they introduced a couple new characters on the website, but one of the more interesting things that they announced is how to change your dragon's color, because all the previews and the art and everything have just shown the basic red dragon, but actually your dragon's color will depend on what you feed it.
Oh, wow.
So if you feed it different types of food, you'll be able to change its color. So if you want it to be blue or green, or they had a whole variety of color options. So you'll have quite a few choices available.
That's pretty neat. Looking forward to that game for sure. And you can change your dragon's color depending what you feed it. That's pretty cool. Okay. Then we have some recent news too regarding West of Loathing. I'm not sure if I mentioned at the top of the podcast. This was supposed to be called West of Loathing for the title of the podcast, but we had all that Pokemon news, so I had to reschedule or retitle the podcast to Pokemon Quest. But let's talk about West of Loathing. It's getting a physical copy from Limited Run Games, with pre-orders opening up on August 3rd. So mark your calendars for that date if you're interested in a physical copy of West of Loathing. And that is pretty cool. Limited Run Games, you're doing a great job for the community, for those who love physical editions of games. Okay, we got some updates and DLC to talk about. Just one game, actually. One game we actually reviewed, I think, and interviewed,
yes.
Correct? And this
Yes,
is Mulaka.
that's right.
What do they add to this Mulaka game?
Yeah, so the new update added a picture mode, so you'll be able to take pictures while you're playing. So it's a simple update, but it's a nice feature that a lot of people like.
For sure, especially because the game is so pretty, so it's nice to have. All right, and then we have a new website opening up, of course, for the upcoming Switch and 3DS title, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Any new details with the website or anything specific that they added to it, or is it just kind of the base website about the game?
It just seems like the base website just gives some general pictures and screenshots of the two different versions and stuff.
I guess the highlight here will be the Mario Odyssey, the New Donk City levels, so...
Yes.
Yeah. I think they had some screenshots there too, so check out the website, guys, for that. We have a link in the news article here on NintendoChitChat.com. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Nintendo 3DS news. What do we have here, Samantha?
Yes, so this is a GameStop exclusive new 2DS XL Hylian Shield edition. This comes with a Link Between Worlds preloaded, and so this is going to be coming out on July 2nd for $159.99.
So there you go, another 2DS. Pretty amazing. They keep pushing out new editions. I think they're probably done pushing out new Nintendo 3DS special editions. They're probably just going with the 2DS apparently, so that's pretty cool. But hey, you get a great game pre-installed for a pretty good price too, so if you're new to handheld gaming and new to Zelda, good combo. All right, then we have some more details regarding Etrian Odyssey X. So what do we have for this?
Yes, it's not too much news, but they revealed the Japanese box art. So I have the link there that links to the tweet where it was revealed. So you can take a look at that if you visit the site.
Awesome. I also have the image here. It's kind of cropped though for a layout, but yeah, go to the website and click on the link to see the full box art for yourselves. It looks pretty awesome, very colorful.
Yes, and the box art even says cross, confirming that it's a cross, not a pen.
That's true. All these cross titles, it's kind of interesting. All right, guys, so we have much more to come up with Samantha regarding your questions, discussing those questions. We have about 4 questions from you guys this week, which is great, so keep submitting your questions. Also, the Nintendo Time Portal and the Player Spotlight, all straight ahead, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after the short break with Samantha and you guys.
You're listening to the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard. We'll be right back after the short break. Visit our website at NintendoChitChat.com and catch up on everything Nintendo. have the audio version of the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM. You're listening to the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast with your hosts, Eddy Ray and Samantha Lienhard.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Nintendo Chit-Chat Podcast, episode 22, Pokemon Quest. Yeah, pretty hyped week regarding Pokemon. Keep discussing in Discord. We'll talk to you guys there about anything Nintendo related. Of course, Pokemon's a hot topic right now, though, but we got a bunch of questions with you guys, so I appreciate it very much. Keep submitting your questions, too. You can email us your questions for the podcast, NintendoChitChat@gmail.com, or you can also go to Discord. Invite link is below in the description of the video. And once you go there, go to hashtag NCC-podcast. All right, so Samantha, we got some questions here. Are you ready for these?
I am ready.
Got kind of a variety here I kind of chose from, so you guys are great by asking all kinds of different questions, too. I really appreciate that. Samantha and I love your questions, so let's do this. We'll go right to Dank. Dank has asked questions before, but this week's question is, do you think Capcom is better than Bethesda, as in terms of games on the Nintendo Switch and future games? Take it away, Samantha. What do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm sort of biased towards Capcom because they have Ace Attorney and Resident Evil and things like that. But I believe they have more games out and coming up for the Nintendo Switch than Bethesda does so far. Although Bethesda's games that they released for the Switch were pretty well received. But I would say that although Capcom has, of course, been annoying people with having two games, one on the cart, one that you have to download. But I think in general, Capcom has been doing pretty well.
Yeah, a little bit of a slow start maybe. All they had was like Street Fighter, I think, earlier last year. Then they weren't quite revealing anything. You know, well, we're not sure about this. And then Monster Hunter only came out in Japan. Now it's coming to North America as well. Now we have Resident Evil already on the Switch. What else? We have a bunch of Mega Man games coming. So yeah, Capcom is really taking shape on the Switch. They're really giving some good support to it, which is amazing. And you mentioned too, Bethesda has done some good work with Skyrim, Doom, really solid ports, great games, fun games. They sold pretty well. And of course we have Wolfenstein coming up too. And I think we'll probably learn more about what they're doing at E3 with future releases on the Switch, because as of right now, I don't think anything else has been announced for Bethesda and the Switch, right?
Not that I can think of. But yeah, they do have their own E3 conference, so maybe they'll discuss some more Switch news there.
Yeah, and they're kind of all in with the Switch. So yeah, looking forward to what we see in the future coming weeks here with E3 around the corner. But good question, Dank. Yeah, so I think they're doing pretty well for both companies regarding the Switch. I wish more companies would show their support to the Switch. But with these guys here, Capcom, Bethesda, I think they're both doing really good work. So there you go. Okay, next question we have from Silverfax, Hannah. Do you think the Mario Tennis tournament that will be held is going to be a good experience? And for sure, yeah. If you never played Mario Tennis and you have a Switch, definitely get into the tournament. I think it's this weekend, right, Samantha?
Yes, I think that's right.
Yeah, so it's kind of your chance to kind of demo the game, at least regarding the tournament mode and online. There will be no story content available, I don't think, for this. So, but I also think Nintendo's probably kind of testing out some servers issues and that kind of thing, as they did with like ARMS and Splatoon back in the day with the demos. So, but yeah, definitely think it's gonna be a good experience for everybody if you're interested in Mario Tennis. What do you think, Samantha?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I believe the Splatoon and ARMS demos that they did went over pretty well. And Mario Tennis Aces seems like it has solid gameplay from what they've shown us so far. So I don't see what would go wrong unless there would be some sort of disaster. But yeah, I think it should probably be a good experience.
I'm not sure where I read it. I saw on Twitter, I think somebody who actually maybe demoed some of the game said this game gets pretty difficult and challenging regarding story mode later on. So that's pretty good. A good challenging game, yeah. So very hyped for that. If you guys are playing the tournament, let us know. I won't be. I'll be away working, but let me know what you guys think of it. You know, post your comments in Discord. and ask your questions. And let us know what you think about Mario Tennis Aces. All right, cool. Thanks, Hannah. All right, Cumulative. This is a really cool question. So Cumulative, who is, I think, sleeping right now, but he'll see it on the replay. He asks, if any Nintendo character were to suddenly have a bad fur day, as in changing their image completely, who do you think it would be? And I went back and forth between a couple characters here, but Samantha, who did you choose? Anybody in particular?
Yes, well, so I interpreted the question as being like Conker's Bad Fur Day, like that sort of game. And so I might be cheating a little bit on the changing their image completely, but the thing that I thought of that I kind of stuck with then once that was that I can see Wario and Waluigi having a game that would work in that sort of tone.
For sure. Yeah, we have Biwa in chat saying Wario as well. Right as soon as you said, Samantha, Wario, she says Wario too. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I kind of agree. I had thought them right away. And I thought, well, what if Kirby changed his image from being a happy-go-lucky kind of cute little character to being some evil monster or something? Be kind of interesting. But what do you guys think in chat? Which character would you give a bad fur day to, or kind of change their image completely around, doing a 180 per se for their game? Any other opinions about this question, Samantha?
No, not really. That's the main thing that came to mind for me.
Yeah, I thought Wario and Waluigi as well. I thought, well, what about Kirby? It'd be kind of cool. Because Kirby's always so cute, so let's give Kirby an evil kind of attitude with a huge ego, very rude to his friends and his enemies. Kirby hates allies. There you go. That would be the game. Kirby hates allies. All right, we have our fourth question. Dank again coming through here with a bunch of questions. So Dank says, do you think Nintendo will release the GameCube Classic or N64 Classic next? And I think this is pretty easy to answer, but let's talk more about this too. So Samantha, what do you think?
Yeah, well, Nintendo 64 Classic would make sense as the next thing for them to go to. I think it would be strange if they went to something as recent as the GameCube. I know it's several generations ago by now, but it still feels much more recent than the classic editions that they've done. So I would be surprised if they did that, but I could see them doing the Nintendo 64 Classic.
Yeah, same here. I don't actually see them doing a GameCube Classic anytime soon, even in the next couple of years. I just don't see it happening. I think they still want to take some of these titles and either remaster them or remake them, so I don't know. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, N64 Classic would definitely be next in line. Then there's also rumors we had a while back, I think last year, about them doing something with a Game Boy, a handheld, possibly too. So we may see that actually maybe this year, and then N64 maybe next year, possibly. I don't know. It's all up in the air, but we do know for sure the NES Classic getting restocked, and so is the SNES Classic being restocked, which I think is available on GameStop for pre-order right now. So if you've missed those, definitely dive in now to get them on this kind of second production run or whatever they have coming up for the spring and summer. So, but thank you, Dank. Thanks to all of your questions, guys, and keep asking away again. Ask your questions to us at NintendoChitChat at gmail.com or go to Discord, hashtag NCC-podcast. Ask them there. The more you ask, the better. We want kind of a variety of questions, so ask 2, 3, 4. You have a crazy question, like Cumulative had a really cool question. If you think it's crazy, don't worry, just ask it, and we'll add it in to the podcast if we can. Okay. We have our player spotlight then, Samantha, and everyone watching. And this is pretty cool. She did a great job for me on our late night show, which aired on Saturday Live. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting that as well. And she's a moderator and a subscriber, community member. We all know her as Christina. And Christina Nina 19 is our player spotlight. So everyone go tag her in Discord right now and wish her congratulations. Give her a big thumbs up in Discord and tag her right there and say thank you for supporting the podcast and the show and everything else in between. So Christina, thanks very much. Especially for the late night show. We actually have a second episode. We have Biwa, who will be in studio in July for our second show. So it's pretty awesome. Looking forward to that. All right, now we have the latter part of the program. And Samantha, what issue? Is it 18 already?
Yes, issue 18.
Wow, very
We've been doing this for 18 weeks.
I enjoy every week because there's always something I don't recall or remember about this time portal. It's always like one game, like what is that game or what is this? So It begins with Dragon Quest, actually, and talk more about this, Samantha.
Yes, so May 27th is the anniversary of Dragon Quest because the original Dragon Quest came out in Japan on May 27th, 1986.
Wow.
So this established the sort of basic template for JRPGs. And so now, of course, we're waiting for Dragon Quest XI to come out. So while thinking about Dragon Quest XI, just remember it started in 1986.
Yeah, and I chose the graphic here. Actually, I chose the North American version, which is called Dragon Warrior, if you guys don't know.
Yes.
And that's how I recall the series as a kid. I actually played this game with my friend a lot. It was my first RPG, actually, too, so it was pretty epic back then. I think it's still a fun game now, the original game. So Dragon Warrior in North America. When did they actually change it back to Dragon Quest in North America? Do you know, was it for like the next few games or what? I don't recall.
I believe it's up through Dragon Warrior 8.
Okay,
and then
wow.
when they released 9, they've got to use the Dragon Quest name in the West.
Okay.
And so then I believe when they went back then for remakes and everything and ports, they used Dragon Quest. So I'm not sure which came first, if the remakes came first or 9 came first, but I'm pretty sure that somewhere I have a PlayStation copy of Dragon Warrior 8.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so they used the other name
cool.
for quite a while.
That's really neat. That's awesome. So yeah, pretty nostalgic times for me right now looking at this. Even this title screen I have on the graphic right now, it's pretty cool. All right, so we got a big one here then regarding the Wii U era. And what is this?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was just checking quick, trying to find out if that was 7 or 8 that was Warrior. I can't find it out right now.
No problem.
I think Dragon Quest might have been 8, so then Dragon Warrior 7 was the last one.
Okay.
To use her name. Okay. It doesn't matter too much.
I caught your attention with that, didn't I?
Yeah, it was Dragon Warrior 7 is the case that I'm thinking of. So I think 8 then was the first change. All right, so yes.
Very
so
cool.
now we're on to Splatoon.
Yeah, Splatoon.
So May 28th, 29th, and 30th across the various regions are all the release dates for Splatoon in 2015. So now it's been 3 years and it's gotten a sequel and people love it.
Yeah, an expansion coming too, and yeah, got amiibo and art books and CD soundtracks as concerts in Japan. This has really taken Japan and the world by storm, and here we are in 2018 with a stellar shooter by Nintendo. Started as one of those garage devs, I think, right, as well. When they were developing this game, one of the younger devs teams was kind of doing this, and it got an okay. So Splatoon, very cool. All right, moving on to May 30th, we have Kingdom Hearts. And what is this?
Yeah, so this is Kingdom Hearts, and I believe despite the way it's written, the way you're supposed to say it is 358 days over 2. And so this came out in Japan for the DS on May 30th, 2009. Of course, this was a DS game, but it actually doesn't use the touchscreen a lot because they wanted it to play similarly to the other games. Although I believe I read that they had some trouble because of the buttons not having as many buttons. But yeah, so it kept basically the same Kingdom Hearts gameplay, but it also used a mission-based system instead of the sort of traditional exploration sort of formula.
Did you play this title on the DS at all?
Yes, I did. I missed it when it came out because I actually only became a Kingdom Hearts fan a few years ago. But once I became a fan, this one is not in the remixes, in the PlayStation remixes. This one, they just include the cutscenes. And I saw a lot of people saying that the cutscene compilation is good, but there's a lot of character interactions and stuff that you only get if you play the game. So I picked up a copy of the original DS game from the Square Enix store, actually, when they were having one of their sales. And I played it and I enjoyed it.
Oh, very good deal. Do you think we'll get a Kingdom Hearts on the Switch eventually?
I don't know. I would hope so. They kind of have been odd with their releases. Like there were several, I believe, 4 that came out on Nintendo systems, but now they've kind of consolidated everything onto the PlayStation And except for the poor Xbox that only gets Kingdom Hearts 3, which doesn't make much sense. But, so I'm not sure if they're trying to focus more on one platform now, or if they're going to start spreading out again. It would be nice to see something.
Yeah, and kind of going back to Dank's question regarding Bethesda and Capcom, I'd like to see Square Enix do more for the Switch, and them and kind of, I guess, EA maybe, those two big publishers and developers.
Yeah, Square Enix is doing some. We've got Octopath coming up.
For sure.
And Dragon Quest, which we were just talking about.
They could do more, though, couldn't they?
Yes.
But yeah, for sure. They have stuff coming out for the Switch coming up with Octopath Travel, like you said, and for sure. But yeah, they could do a little bit more, I think. All right, guys. So I didn't realize Shantae is so old already. Yes. Wow. Did you realize that when you wrote this? This is amazing to me. I forgot.
Yeah, I would have thought it was the Game Boy Advance. I knew the first one was a handheld, but yes, so the original Shantae came out on June 2nd, 2002 for the Game Boy Color.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, probably just are recently known of the series because the last few games have come out. They've continued on with the franchise, and yeah, I didn't realize it was 2002 already. That's pretty amazing. The original Shantae out for Game Boy Color, so there you go. I never played the game on Game Boy Color, so if you have, let me know in the chat. But yeah, 2002, that's pretty amazing.
I believe it's on the Virtual Console for the 3DS, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
or
it is.
Or the Wii U. One of them. It's available somewhere out on the eShop.
Yeah, but this game has kind of come back to life, and it's, I think, better than ever and well-known, more now than ever before as well. So, all right, guys, that wraps it up for this episode of Nintendo Chit Chat Podcast, episode 22. You guys keep submitting your questions to us, and join us back here next week. I'm not sure which day yet, but I'll let you know very soon. Before we go, though, Samantha, anything you want to plug or talk about?
Oh, one thing that I'll just mention, which isn't really a Nintendo announcement, but sort of indirectly a Nintendo announcement, is that in Japan, Professor Layton and the Curious Village is being remade for smartphones.
Oh, wow.
So that will be good if it's ever localized, because while I'm not the biggest mobile player, those original DS games are pretty hard to find now. Yeah. So at least it's getting new life in some form.
Or without paying an arm and a leg for it, too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's some good news. Great. All right, Samantha, thanks so much for your work on the Nintendo News Bite, Time Portal, and more. Everyone wish Samantha a great weekend, and we'll talk to you then next week, Samantha.
All right. Have a good week.
You too. Thanks for watching, guys. Good to see you all in chat. And Megan, welcome to the channel. Thanks for subscribing. I'm Eddy Ray for NintendoChitChat.com. We'll see you guys on Discord and the podcast next week. See you guys then. Take care.
Grab the audio version of the Nintendo Chit Chat podcast on iTunes, Google Music, SoundCloud, or Player FM. Visit our website at NintendoChitChat.com and catch up on everything Nintendo.